I don't know about you, but the stuff that I'm hearing and reading on the news is absolutely mind-blowing. Now, a lot of the conspiracy theorists, the people that have been talking about this for a very long time, they seem to be justified now that these new lawsuits and all of the allegations are coming out. Now, as a disclaimer, I'm not here to say any of it is true. I'm not here to proclaim that this is what you've got to believe. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying that this is what the lawsuits, these are what the people are saying, these are the affidavits, and I'm just going to simply present the news to you, give you a summary, an analysis, and then where we go from here. Now, I've said before, we are in a season of exposure. What is hidden will come to light, and all of the things that God has been working on that people haven't really fully understood, they will have a chance to be educated and to understand what it is. But you have to do the digging, you have to do the prayer, you have to be wise and discerning during this time. So let's go and quickly do a summary. So this guy does a very good job, and it'll quickly introduce what's going on just up till now.
The internet is now comparing Diddy to Jeffrey Epstein. And honestly, if you just hear some of the things he's now being accused of and how many celebrities are allegedly implicated, this would give Netflix a freaking season 2 banger. In just the past 5 months, 4 women have filed lawsuits against Diddy accusing him of sexual assault, including his longtime on-and-off girlfriend, singer Cassie. And then just last month, a whopping $30 million lawsuit was filed by music producer Rodney Jones. The suit accused Diddy of being the leader of a criminal enterprise that could qualify as a widespread and dangerous criminal sex trafficking organization. Following that, several people, including Cassie, came forward with information which helped agents establish a probable cause for a judge to grant a search warrant. Concerned that Diddy would destroy evidence, 2 of his homes were quickly raided by Homeland Security, 2 of his sons were briefly detained, and a number of electronics like phones, hard drives, and laptops were seized. But Diddy himself was nowhere to be found. This is when rumors of him fleeing the country on his private jet started circulating, because his jet was tracked heading to the Bahamas. But not long later, TMZ posted a video of him pacing around at Miami airport while his homes were being raided, indicating that he was never on that jet. And strangely, that's the last time we've seen him. No one really knows where he is right now. There are no reports of him being arrested. It's just kinda gone silent. But while he's disappeared, the internet has been hella busy dragging up old videos of what celebrities have accused Diddy of doing in the past. Usher said that when he was just 13, he lived with him for a whole year, and in that time he witnessed what he described as some curious things. He was then asked by the interviewer if he would send his own child to live with Diddy, to which he emphatically responded, hell no. In multiple old interviews, Ye claims that to stay out of jails for the crimes they've committed, rappers like Diddy and Meek Mill made deals with federal agents to collect blackmail on other celebrities, politicians, athletes, British royalty, all at the freak-out parties he hosted at his mansions. In fact, in the lawsuit filed by Rodney Jones, he claimed that Diddy had hundreds of hidden cameras in every room and his business is centered around sexual blackmail. He also claimed that Diddy possesses compromising footage of every person that has attended his freak-off parties. The complaint argues that up-and-coming talent were promised opportunities and access to music executives, but they were then supplied with drugs and alcohol, filmed, and blackmailed. The lawsuit also claims that these parties were funded by high-up music executives like Universal Music CEO Lucian Grange. 50 Cent, who has been a long-time critic of Diddy, posted on X saying that he will fund a docuseries on all of the allegations against him.
Now, as I've said before, anything that has to do with Hollywood news, tabloid news, celebrity news, royal family stuff, all of that stuff is being used as a tool to wake up everybody else, because these young people, these guys, Gen Z, millennials, all these guys are very good at trying to figure out what's going on because they, in some sense, are obsessed with it. So this is a tool, a platform, an avenue to get people to wake up to see what's going on. So let's take a look at some of the things. Now, there's a lot of people talking about the recent lawsuit that just came out. So the one with Rodney Jones, the producer, who has a lot of information, basically this entire 73-page document, a lawsuit, is showing so many things and so many allegations of sexual assault and just this crazy stuff, disturbing images. This is like a trigger warning here too. Guns, drugs, and so many things. And namely, they were recorded. So these people went to their house, they were recorded, and all sorts of stuff happened. Now, before that, you saw different court cases, Jane Doe, tons of Jane Does, and then more recently, one of the first ones, in addition to Joey Dickerson Neal, and then the very first one, Cassandra Ventra, that sort of kicked off this exposure venture of P. Diddy. Now, before this, as the person Dylan was saying, people were digging up all kinds of videos about previous things on the shows, the kids shows, and what people are saying with Justin Bieber. People are saying things with all these kinds of people. Now, again, I'm not saying anything bad with some of these guys. It's just that the innuendo that's being assumed and said is getting absolutely crazy from what has been coming out. Now, in this lawsuit with Rodney Jones, namely, there's a lot of people that have basically been accused of things. And this is coming from Newsweek, I think, but you can find this anywhere. It's just, and again, these are all allegations. But Prince Harry, T.D. Jakes, Nicki Minaj, Stephen J., and just a whole slew of other people. But that is not even the craziest part. The craziest parts are the higher level executives that are from Universal Music Group, Motown Records, Love Records, and again, as it was said, a widespread and dangerous criminal sex trafficking organization. So the allegations in this particular lawsuit is what's getting everybody on TikTok, Instagram, all of the people that follow news and music and these guys all worked up because they're digging into this Epstein-like organization that is heavily coordinated and absolutely ludicrous in terms of what is being hidden. And this is where people are digging up crazy other things. Like, where did Taylor Swift sign this contract at? It's very obvious whose house this is because, again, people are getting into the details in the weeds. And you can find clips like these with Obama and Diddy and just how he's talking about not only his relationship with Obama, but also like what he's saying contrastly about Trump. So let's take a listen quickly.
White men like Trump need to be banished. That way of thinking is real dangerous. When you look at it, we don't have no choice. You know what I'm saying? You can say what you want about Biden. I can't say I love the pick either, but hey, we got to get him in office and then we got to hold him accountable.
So again, you can see his demeanor against Trump. You can see what people, especially what Q has said before about what the media is saying, what people are like, who are they for and who are they against? These are cover magazines of Time about Obama versus about Trump. And because he stands to be an existential threat, Q has said before, why would somebody like POTUS, and this is Q Job 153, and again, I'm not here to be like, oh, let's push conspiracy, all that stuff. But given time and time again of what Q has said, what many people have said with regards to this worship of Moloch, mass murders, all of this crazy stuff, and the symbolism behind it. And again, Q talks about it. Many people talk about it, the depths of it. You don't have to sit here and believe it, and I'll get to it here in a second. But there's a lot in terms of what is being portrayed. So let's keep looking at some other things.
Remember when we said Diddy is fighting tooth and nail to make sure he doesn't go down alone? Well, it looks like his plans are finally succeeding because he just brought undeniable evidence of how Jay-Z allegedly unalived his mistress, Kathy White, to protect Beyonce. Allegedly, Kathy White got pregnant for Jay-Z and was threatening to do a tell-all interview about the affair around the same time Beyonce also announced that she was pregnant. And thinking of the absolute chaos Kathy's tell-all would be, Jay-Z made the obvious choice and decided to delete his mistress. Sources are now saying Diddy has strong evidence that can prove everything that went down, so Jay's days as a free man might be counted. Y'all better get comfy because we are about to break this down. So I'm
not going to get into all of the detail, but you can see here that everybody, the sleuths, internet digital soldiers of the world, they're breaking all of this down, and it's getting absolutely crazy. So what's this about, right? So Q has said before, many others that are fighting this war, that people have brushed off as conspiracy theorists and crazy people, just like with Jeffrey Epstein, that it's about the children, the crimes against the children, and that there needs to be a little bit brought out at a time so that people can digest it, and that this great awakening that's happening won't shock them too quickly. And you can't just, again, sometimes you can't tell the public the truth. You must show them. Only then people will find the will to change. And so there's a bigger operation going on. And again, with regards to child sacrifice, with regards to all of these people, Q and these guys on the forum, people that claim to know the insides, they haven't been wrong in the sense that what they've said years ago has come to pass or come to light. Because again, we are in a season where there's a massive operation going on and people don't really understand this. Like, people think that it's just some isolated little things, but it's part of a greater coordinated effort to allow things to come out slowly. And so these people for many years have had sealed affidavits. There's been federal cases and sealed like indictments, all this stuff, because there's a massive coordinated effort to try to capture and take care of everybody one by one. P. Diddy, he's one little small cog in the wheel because there's so many people that are further up that are coordinating all these things. And Epstein, whether it's Diddy, whether it's these in-between guys, mediators, whatever you want to call it. And again, what they're doing is bad. But this is to be shown slowly so that it can easily be digested. And then the big kahunas, when they come out, when the Clintons of the world, Obamas of the world, the George Bushes and the celebrities, all these guys, when they come out and they show them this is what they have done, it's going to get absolutely crazy. And so that's why Q many times and many others cautions us, warns us that if you tell them everything, if you show them everything, then it's just going to, for too many people, it's going to be such a shock to their system that they're going to reject it. They won't believe it. And so this stuff, right, is believable. If you're a believer, you would remember that in the Bible, it talks about many times the crazy, debaucherous acts of worship to Baal, Ashtoreth, to the stuff that happened in some Sodom and Gomorrah, the golden calf. Even the Israelites, Moses went up for just a little bit. They came back down. They were worshiping this golden calf. And do you remember all of the stuff that happened in Sodom and Gomorrah because they wanted to have homosexual acts with these angelic visitors? They're doing so many graphically crazy things. Child sacrifices to Moloch. Here are biblical references. Go look it up and go read for yourself how absolutely crazy and depraved one must be to have continuous child sacrifices to worship some god so that you can get fame or do things, or you're just possessed by some demonic force. All of these stories, right? People had to eat their sons. Remember 2 Kings, a woman had to eat his son. The second woman, another woman agrees to it. And after the second day, the second woman hid her son. In Leviticus, Deuteronomy, talking about cannibalism. So these kinds of things, right? If you talk about the utter depraved man and the nature of sin, it's not unreal. It's not unusual to think that people would want to entertain their thoughts. And these guys, Lecrae came out and talked about certain things that happened beyond midnight. So many guys are talking about, Ryan Garcia, one of them, what they're doing with each other. The orgies, like the Bible in the last days talks about this happening. People will be entertaining themselves, man on man, woman with multiple people, men with multiple people. It's just absolutely a debaucherous, disgusting act against humanity. Now, a lot of people are saying that this whole P. Diddy thing is part of a greater operation. So whether this man, obviously he's singing like, so a lot of people, what they're saying is that this whole thing was sort of a diversion. So whether he wasn't on the plane. We don't know where he is, but if he's under witness protection because now he's singing, and like the other video was saying, he's not going to go down without a fight and to take others with him. Whatever is happening, it's systematic and there's a process, and the public needs to know something with, this whole PR thing that's happening. But then there's other things that have to happen with trying to catch them all, right? So you have to think in layers beyond just trying to catch P. Diddy. They probably already got him. They haven't told that on the news or wherever he is. But the question now is, he's the first sort of base, but whatever operation is happening with other people and they're being rounded up. And so there might be some kind of strategy here to hide him as he keeps talking, as Maxwell keeps talking, and these other guys keep saying things so that their operation keeps running. So this is scaring some people, but it's tactical, strategic for a reason. And there's also this idea that they had to raid them quickly so that if there were people there that wanted to destroy the evidence, they would be able to get there quickly, take care of it, handle it, and seize all of the laptops and all that stuff that they had taken. So apparently the feds also subpoena multiple companies after the Miami and LA home raids, asking them and telling them that we need to identify people that have been working with him or other things related to the sex trafficking probe. And so these are very serious things that are being given over to, I think, computer companies, phone providers, private jet charter companies, and I think airlines as well, because they want to see where he's been, commercial airlines, possibly the FAA, and all of these people that have worked with them and just making and connecting all of the dots. And so I believe that a lot of this has been wrapped up in the sense that they have all the evidence, they have all the testimony, but they're just slowly releasing it. And it's part of a networked sort of strategy to catch everybody, because it's catching certain people off guard. And if they are going to destroy the evidence, if they're going to go and do other things, it's not going to be a surprise attack anymore. And so they want to catch everybody, but they're doing this in a two-front attack. The first phase is to make sure that the public is informed gradually, and the other second phase or second part is that they have to catch everybody strategically. They can't just like let it out of the bag and then you have all of this exposure and attention, virality going on, and then they miss their opportunity. People flying to different countries and places and you never see them again, right? Rather, you want to allow the continuity of society to go normally, and then when things come out, you can attack both sides, informing the public in transparency, as well as actually catching them and prosecuting them properly by federal, military, whatever it is, because these are serious crimes. The crimes against humanity, the trafficking allegations, and we're not even going to get into the allegations of the satanic rituals, right? People talking about with their affidavits, their testimonies, their sworn testimonies about people doing sacrifices and eating people's brains out and just serving these things to other people and the world leaders. There's a ton of allegations. But what I'm saying is that this could be a stepping stone to the more graphic, gruesome things that will come out, and the people, the world, as Q and many others have said, they will see and they will be prosecuted for their actions. And so all of this conspiracy stuff, 10 years ago, you would have looked at Epstein, you would have looked at all of this Diddy stuff, all of the evidence and photos, the videos, you would have looked at it as some cuckoo stuff. But now, because people are slowly being informed, people are slowly ingesting, digesting it, trying to make sense of it, now they can upgrade to the next thing. The Molochs of the world, the modern day Asherah poles, the modern day calf worshipping type of things, it exists. And so if you're sitting there naive, you think that, oh, nobody can be that bad. You don't understand the Bible. You don't understand God. You don't understand what total depravity is and how people, they want to take advantage of the innocent, the people, the kids, and these things. And so there's a huge war going on. I've said before that all of this will come to light. All of this, you have a choice that you will believe it or not. And again, I'm not making allegations about him or these other things, but whatever comes out in the court of law, whatever comes out with just everything going on behind the scenes, there's a massive strategic operation, and you have to be patient with it. You can't just take things at face value. There's more than meets the eye. Let's be patient. God's working, and I'll report as it comes along. But God bless you guys. Talk to you guys very soon.